Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back with more in the Buddha's Words. Today we are starting chapter 3, and we'll be doing parts 1 and 2 since we've already read the introduction. But these won't be too long. Let's get into this. 1. Not a secret doctrine. These three things, monks, are conducted in secret, not openly. What three? Affairs with women, the mantras of the Brahmins, and wrong view. But these three things, monks, shine openly, not in secret. What three? The moon, the sun, and the Dhamma and discipline proclaimed by the Tathagata. Part 2. No dogmas or blind belief. Thus have I heard, on one occasion, the Blessed One was wandering on tour together with a large sangha of monks when he arrived at a town of the Kalamas named Kesaputta. Now the Kalamas of Kesaputta heard. It is said that the ascetic Gautama, the Sakyan son, who went forth from a Sakyan family, has arrived at Kesaputta. Now a good report about the Master Gautama has been circulating thus: that Blessed One is an Arahant, perfectly enlightened, accomplished in true knowledge and conduct, fortunate, knower of the world, unsurpassed leader of persons to be tamed, teacher of devas and humans, the enlightened one, the Blessed One. Having realized with his own direct knowledge this world with its devas, Mara and Brahma, this population with its ascetics and Brahmins, and its devas and humans, he makes it known to others. He teaches a Dhamma that is good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end, with the right meaning and expression. He reveals a spiritual life that is perfectly complete and purified. Now it is good to see such arahants. Then the Kalamas of Kesaputta approached the Blessed One. Some paid homage to him and sat down to one side. Some exchanged greetings with him, and after their greetings and cordial talk, sat down to one side. Some saluted him reverentially and sat down to one side. Some remained silent and sat down to one side. Then the Kalamas said to the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, some ascetics and Brahmins who come to Kesaputta explained and elucidate their own doctrines, but disparage, debunk, revile, and vilify the doctrines of others. But then some other ascetics and Brahmins come to Kesaputta, and they too explain and elucidate their own doctrines, but disparage, debunk, revile, and vilify the doctrines of the others. For us, Venerable Sir, there is perplexity and doubt as to which of these good ascetics speak truth and which speak falsehood. It is fitting for you to be perplexed, O Kalamas. It is fitting for you to be in doubt. Doubt has arisen in you about a perplexing matter. Come, Kalamas, do not go by oral tradition, by lineage of teaching, by hearsay, by collection of texts, by logic, by inferential reasoning, by reasoned cogitation, by the acceptance of a view after pondering it, by the seeming competence of a speaker, and because you think the ascetic is our teacher. But when you know for yourselves these things are unwholesome, these things are blamable, these things are censured by the wise, these things, if undertaken and practiced, lead to harm and suffering, then you should abandon them. What do you think, Kalamas? When greed, hatred, and delusion arise in a person, is it for his welfare or harm? For his harm, venerable sir. Kalamas, a person who is greedy, hating, and deluded, overpowered by greed, hatred, and delusion, his thoughts controlled by them, will destroy life, take what is not given, engage in sexual misconduct, and tell lies. He will also prompt others to do likewise. Will that conduce to his harm and suffering for a long time? Yes, venerable sir. What do you think, Kalamas? Are these things wholesome or unwholesome? Unwholesome, venerable sir. Blamable or blameless? Blamable, venerable sir. Censured or praised by the wise? Censured, venerable sir. Undertaken and practiced, do they lead to harm and suffering or not? Or how is it in this case? Undertaken and practiced, these things lead to harm and suffering. So it appears to us in this case. It was for this reason, Kalamas, that we said, do not go by oral tradition. Come, Kalamas, do not go by oral tradition, by lineage of teaching, or hearsay, by collection of text, by logic, by inferential reasoning, by reasoned cogitation, by the acceptance of a view after pondering it, by the seeming competence of a speaker, or because you think the ascetic is our teacher. But when you know for yourselves these things are wholesome, these things are blameless, these things are praised by the wise, these things, if undertaken and practiced, lead to welfare and happiness, then you should engage in them. What do you think, Kalamas? When non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion arise in a person, is it for his welfare or harm? For his welfare, venerable sir. Kalamas, a person who is without greed, without hatred, without delusion, not overpowered by greed, hatred, and delusion, his thoughts not controlled by them, will abstain from the destruction of life, from taking what is not given, from sexual misconduct, and from false speech. He will also prompt others to do likewise. Will that conduce to his welfare and happiness for a long time? Yes, venerable sir. What do you think, Kalamas? Are these things wholesome or unwholesome? Wholesome, venerable sir. Blamable or blameless? Blameless, venerable sir. Censured or praised by the wise? Praised, venerable sir. Undertaken and practiced, do they lead to welfare and happiness or not? Or how is it in this case? Undertaken and practiced, these things lead to welfare and happiness. So it appears to us in this case. It was for this reason, Kalamas, that we have said, do not go upon oral tradition. Then Kalamas, that noble disciple, devoid of covetousness, devoid of ill will, unconfused, clearly comprehending, ever mindful, dwells pervading one quarter with a mind imbued with loving kindness. Likewise the second quarter, the third, and the fourth. Thus above, below, across, and everywhere, and to all as to himself, he dwells pervading the entire world with a mind imbued with loving kindness, vast, exalted, measureless, without hostility and without ill will. He dwells pervading one quarter of the mind imbued with compassion, with altruistic joy, with equanimity, likewise the second, the third, and the fourth. Thus above, below, across, and everywhere, and to all as to himself, he dwells pervading the entire world with a mind imbued with equanimity, vast, exalted, measureless, without hostility and without ill will. When Kalamas, this noble disciple, has thus made his mind free of enmity, free of ill will, uncorrupted and pure, he has won 4 assurances in this very life. The first assurance he has won is this: if there is another world, and if good or bad deeds bear fruit and yield results, it is possible that with the breakup of the body, after death, I shall arise in a good destination, in a heavenly world. The second assurance he has won is this: if there is no other world, and if good and bad deeds do not bear fruit and yield results, still right here, in this very life, I live happily, free of enmity and ill will. The third assurance he has won is this: suppose evil befalls the evildoer, then, as I do not intend evil for anyone, how can suffering afflict me, one who does no evil deed? The fourth assurance he has won is this: suppose evil does not befall the evildoer, then right here I see myself purified in both respects. When Kalamas, the noble disciple, has thus made his mind free of enmity, free of ill will, uncorrupted and pure, he has won these 4 assurances in this very life. So it is, blessed one. So it is, fortunate one. When the noble disciple has thus made his mind free of enmity, free of ill will, uncorrupted and pure, he has won these 4 assurances in this very life. Magnificent, venerable sir. Magnificent, venerable sir. The Blessed One has made the Dhamma clear in many ways, as though he was turning upright what had been overthrown, revealing what was hidden, showing the way to one who was lost, or holding up a lamp in the darkness to those both to those with good eyesight, can see forms. We now go for refuge to the Blessed One, to the Dhamma, and to the Sangha of monks. Let the Blessed One accept us as lay followers who have gone for refuge from today until life's end. But that ends that particular part. So yeah. Interesting. Part 3 ain't too long. Part 4, fairly long. Not too bad though. Alright, let's look back in the introduction where it talks about these parts. Chapter 3, Part 1. It says that according to it, secrecy in a religious teaching is the hallmark of wrong views and confused thinking. The teaching of the Buddha shines openly, as radiant and brilliant as the light of the sun and the moon. So yeah, and remember, that was a very short one, Part 1. He says it's not a secret doctrine. Says 3 things conducted in secret, not open. Affairs with women, the mantras of the Brahmins, and wrong view. But what shines openly and shines brightly is not in secret. The moon, the sun, and the Dhamma and discipline proclaimed by the Tathagata. So yeah. It's like, look, there are some things done in private. But there are also some things, such as my teachings, that are meant to be shared, are meant to be known. But yeah. And then the second part, according to the introduction. Where you at? Chapter 3, Part 2. The Kalamas were a people living in a remote area of the Ganges plain. So we know who it is he's talking with. It is one text, chapter 3, Part 2 is one text that offers an excellent example of an approach and is a short discourse in the Anguttara Nikaya, properly known as the Kalamas Sutta. But yeah. But again, it's about saying, look, you said some of these religious leaders tell you, no, don't believe that, believe what I tell you. And then another one will tell you, no, don't believe that, believe what I tell you. And Buddha's like, look, what have you seen? What have you felt? And what have you experienced? If they tell you this, does it seem blameless or to be blamed? You know, he's like, really consider it. Think about it. Does it make sense with what you have seen, what you have known, what you have experienced? Does it mesh? So, yeah. It's like, look, just be good. Hold no covetousness, no ill will. You know, hate or desiring of owning something, even if it's not yours, if someone else owns it. So, yeah. But, yeah. And that's what this particular episode has been about. But we'll go ahead and end this episode there. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.